I can't even guarantee that it'll be 2016. I believe it will happen by then, but I guarantee you this, it is coming, and it's because, look around you. This would not have been possible 2 years ago, 1 year ago, probably not even 6 months ago, but the conversation has fundamentally changed. I want to start out by saying, I don't actually use cannabis. I certainly did when I was younger, and when people find that out, a lot of times they go, well, why are you involved in this movement? And I say, well, isn't it obvious? When you have cases like Jeff Mizanski's, like the Dupree's, it's just wrong. That is an obvious miscarriages of justice. And I think we have an obligation and a duty to do whatever we can to set those instances right. And so that is the fundamental reason why I'm involved in this. The second reason is what we're doing right now doesn't work. If you want to look at a government policy, government policy should always have to be justified on whether they work or not. Even if you think that it's a good idea to keep cannabis illegal, to keep it away from people, well, the policy that we have simply isn't doing that. I grew up not too far from here. I grew up in Poplar Bluff. And when I was in high school, it was far, far easier to get cannabis than it was to get alcohol. Primary reason being is that I didn't even have to leave school to get cannabis. I could buy it from my buddy in third hour or in the parking lot after school, whereas alcohol, that took planning. You had to find someone who was over 21, you had to go stake out a gas station and wait for somebody to walk by and ask them to do it for you. It was a whole to-do, but getting pot, never a problem. And so, that's reflected in the fact that the population that we should be most concerned about using cannabis, teenagers, is actually the one that is most likely to use cannabis. High school seniors are more likely to use cannabis than they are to smoke cigarettes, which are perfectly legal for many high school seniors. So we're having a lot of success dealing with a legal, regulated drug by educating people, making sure that people card for cigarettes, and also by taxing and regulating it than we are with the prohibited drug cannabis. So I think the policy that we have just isn't working. Why don't we try something that seems to be working for alcohol and tobacco, which, as Dan said, are certainly more harmful than cannabis. And then number three, it's a tremendous waste of resources right now, what we're doing. We are spending at least $90 million a year prosecuting the war on cannabis in the state of Missouri. And we're making about 20,000 arrests. 20,000, that is again, I'm from Poplar Bluff, that is about 1 1/3 population of Poplar Bluff, Missouri. So, or Farmington. It's basically like arresting all of Farmington and Park Hills in every single year. Now that's just crazy, and these people are all getting criminal records. They are not going to be able to, it's going to be a lot harder for them to find jobs. It's going to be a lot harder for them to go to school, because if you get an arrest and you get a record, then you are going to lose federal financial aid for a year. Even if a person does have a problem with cannabis, and there are people out there that do, how is this helping them? How is it helping them to remove options from their lives? It seems like you should be trying to do the opposite. You shouldn't be punishing somebody. You should be trying to let them get help if they have a problem with cannabis, but that's not what our policy currently does.